Hello and welcome back to the FIT40 Podcast, where we simplify exercise and nutrition for busy parents 40 plus so they can improve their health and feel amazing. I'm your host, Brian Fitzsimmons, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach for people over 40 since 2015. And today we have an awesome topic on deck. I'm going to be giving you a gut health masterclass. We're going to be talking about the one big lever that you can pull starting today to improve your gut health going forward. Now, before I get into it, go ahead and if you haven't already, hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening so that way you don't miss another episode and you can continue to get awesome information just like this. All right, so let's get into it. Gut health. It's hot. It's a really hot topic right now. There's books about it. There's influencers online talking about it. There's supplements. There's cleanses. There's all these things that claim to improve gut health. They claim that they have the secret answer. But the problem with that is that it's mostly speculation. It's mostly theory based on things like petri dish studies, animal studies, mechanistic data, but not actual human outcomes. Okay, there are certain things that do have that level, just it's still so new that we kind of know some things and we kind of don't have a clue on others. So there's a lot because the gut microbiome is very, very diverse. It's very confusing. There's a lot. It's kind of like we're exploring the ocean for the first time and people are on the surface of the ocean looking down going, "Oh, I know what it is." No. We don't have a full picture just yet, but we do know a few things. So let's talk about the few things that we do know. All right. Number one is that exercise, stress, medication, sleep, food quality, and certain chemicals do mess with the gut microbiome. Now, I say chemicals, and that's usually when people's ears perk up and they're like, "Ooh, which ones? Which ones? Is it red dye 40? Is it this? Is it that?" I'll tell you the two biggest ones right now that are mentioned are cigarettes, like tobacco is one of them, and alcohol. So if you're able to bringing those down, if not eliminating them altogether, would be very, very helpful if gut health is one of your big things that you want to work on. Okay. Another thing too is also like food quality as far as like what kinds of things are we getting too much of? Things like added sugars, saturated fats, polyphenols, things like that. If you have a lot, like too many based on what your gut can currently handle, yes, that can make a big, big difference if we bring those down to a level that you can handle. And maybe you could even bring certain things up over time and your body can handle it. But just general rule of thumb, stuff like that can help a lot to bring down in the beginning. But the big thing I want to talk about today is the big, big, big lever, which is fiber. This is that one thing that we're like, okay, we know with pretty good certainty that, hey, this makes a difference. Like this does help a ton with the gut microbiome. And it helps to have a big variety of fiber sources because when it comes to your gut microbiome, variety seems to be one of those things that helps a lot, not just in fiber, but also in different types of food sources. Because when you take in all these different things, they all have different benefits. And that's what we lose when it comes to the discussion around food. It's like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. But it's like, but what's good in it? Okay, there's a lot of benefits to different types of foods to keep them in the diet. And the benefit usually outweighs the detriment. So, it can be worth it to try and include a lot of different types of foods. So now real quick, because I am not a nutrition major, I don't understand this stuff to a crazy depth like a registered dietitian would. But on the surface, like what I know, and I think really what most people in the general public need to know, they don't have to go that deep on this. Just understand that fiber fuels gut bacteria and improves the microbiome because it produces short chain fatty acids, which helps to improve digestion, reduce inflammation, and support your metabolism. And the way to understand the gut microbiome, like what exactly is it? Okay, it's basically like a city, okay? And fiber is the material in the factories that the microbes who are like the workers use to make it better, okay? It's kind of like sunlight for plants. Like the fiber is the sunlight and the plants are the microbes using it, utilizing it, and making it work and improving the entire environment. Now, when you fuel your microbiome with good materials like whole foods, like when you manage your stress, like when we reduce our alcohol and all these good things, then it flourishes. It's great. But when you don't, when you're smoking like a chimney, downing a bunch of alcohol, you're stressed out beyond belief, and you get like zero diversity in your diet because you eat the same things over and over and over again, then yeah, it doesn't go as well. So with that, I'll just cap this off with a statement from the Cleveland Clinic. Okay, that's one of the sources I personally trust because they have a great track record and They provide incredible information as far as science communication goes. And they even stated that, hey, as research continues, healthcare providers are both optimistic and cautious. Okay. The more we learn, the more we realize how much there still is to learn. But what we're learning also goes backward to confirm some of our oldest wellness principles. In particular, a healthy whole foods diet is key to a healthy gut. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on the things that we know, hey, this will make a difference. Let's do this damn thing. So let's talk fiber. Okay. What fiber does for your gut, like I just said, it acts as food for your gut microbiome, creates those short chain fatty acids and all that good stuff. Okay. When it comes to fiber, the two types that we want to focus on are number one, soluble, number two, insoluble. So insoluble adds the bulk. It's kind of like the plow truck when we're talking like, say, snow is like all the digested food in your gut lining. Okay. It comes through and it pushes through, and it also bulks it up and makes it big so it's able to push on through. And then soluble softens it up, and it also feeds the bacteria too. So that helps it make sure it's a smooth journey. It's a very efficient journey. Let's just say that. And when it comes to how much fiber we actually need, most people only get about 15 grams or less per day. And the goal really needs to be about 25 to 35 grams per day based on the RDA. And there's even some that say you want about 10 to 14 grams per 1,000 calories that you're consuming. So if you're eating, say, 2,000 calories, then you want about, what would that be, 20 to 28 grams. So we're kind of still in that range. So 25 to 35 grams is a great, great goal. And especially when it comes to women 40 plus, they're usually representative of the people that underconsume fiber, because when they do this, it also affects their digestion, their satiety, and their energy, all these things that when we are in those peri and postmenopausal ages, like that stuff matters, because if your digestion is off, you're going to feel like crap. You're not going to want to do the things that we need to do. Okay. You're not feeling as full on the same meals, and you're not having that same energy because we're undernourished. Our gut is not on our side, and we're just not doing the things more likely than not that need to get done to get the results that you want. So can really, really make a difference. Now, let's touch on variety for a second. Why does it matter? Okay, different fibers need different microbes. Okay, because when you have this diverse environment, it builds resilience. It allows you to say, "Hey, I've got a little bit of this, I got a little bit of that, and no matter what comes our way, we got this." At least most of the time, it will be the case. Okay, and we want to aim for different sources. And when we're talking about different sources, there's 5 when we're talking fiber. There's whole grains, there's beans and legumes, there's nuts and seeds, fruits and vegetables. So things like beans, berries, cruciferous veggies, like the greens and things like that, oats, potatoes, legumes, they're all good to go. And this is why one of the big reasons that people say, oh, carbs are the devil, like I push back hard against, because fiber is one of these nutrients that we need so much of in our diet. And if you don't eat carbs, you don't get that. Again, back to the whole, hey, food has benefits as well as detriments. You got to understand what outweighs the other. All right. And if you want to put this into practice, getting these different sources, I love one of my former clients, Samantha. She did this with her kids, where she's like, okay, we're going to go to the grocery store. You're going to come with me. And kids are always good for picking toys and like random crap off the shelves. And she's like, listen, go and do that, but in the vegetable section or the fruit section. Pick me out one veggie or fruit that we have not had yet, and I'm going to find a way to cook it in a dish. And I mean, with the addition of things like ChatGPT right now, you could literally plug into ChatGPT and say, hey, my kids picked out this vegetable. We usually like dishes like X, Y, and Z. Make me a simple, easy to cook dish that'll take 20 minutes or less, that is tasty, that will feed my whole family. Boom. It'll feed you a couple of, and you could even say, give me 5 different options. It'll give you a bunch of really solid recipes. I've done this and it works incredibly well. So give it a try if you want to do that. Now, all that being said, with fiber, when people go at it, they go at it hard. And this usually results in a lot of bloat, or they're just going to the bathroom. This is why things like Metamucil are in the laxative section, because people get like no fiber. And then when they finally do, it's like, shoo. Okay. So they're going to the bathroom all the time. They feel like there's a rock in their stomach if they get a lot of the insoluble, because they're always getting it from like a supplement that only has one specific type instead of getting the soluble and insoluble. So if you get nothing but insoluble, it could just sit in your gut like a rock. Now, how do we avoid that? Because we want to get all these benefits. We don't want to have the downside. The key thing when you're starting is to start gradually, very gradually. All right. If you are not consuming a lot of fiber right now, don't just jump to the 35 grams. Okay. That's why in my program, like when people learn PFC for the first time, protein, fiber, color, that fiber goal is only 5 grams per meal for a total of 15 grams per day. That's the starting point, because that's what most people can handle in the beginning. So just do that if you aren't already. Like, you could even take it by meal and say, okay, I'm going to eat what I've normally been eating, but for dinner, I'm going to include a fibrous source that's at least 5 grams of fiber, and we're just going to add that to dinner. And then that way you're just adding 5 grams for, say, a week or two. And then you do it again for lunch, and that's another 5 grams or whatever. And then you gradually build it up. And that's one way that you could do that to avoid all that discomfort. Another thing too, make sure you're drinking enough water, because water helps push everything through. It helps lubricate the system, and it prevents discomfort. And it also provides a lot of other benefits. Like if you're not dehydrated, your brain operates better. So that's an added bonus as well. Now, one of my favorite things to do when it comes to fiber, as far as bumping it up, is swaps, like easy swaps, because then you could eat the same stuff. You just do it in a little bit of a different way. So if you like burritos or quesadillas at home, get some high fiber wraps. Easy, done. Most of them are like 10 grams of fiber per wrap. So it's like, okay, we've nailed that. Pasta, if you want to give the gluten-free versions a try that are like chickpea pasta or red lentil, they have a ton more fiber in those, and they even have more protein in them as well. So if you're not married to the standard traditional pasta, then that could be a really, really good option. And then we got grains, fruits, veggies, beans. You could just toss those in wherever they make sense. So if you have, say, that same, the quesadilla or the burrito, get some fajita veggies going, and boom, you got extra fiber in there. Throw some beans in there, like some black beans. That would be great too. Or in the morning, I love doing this. Like, if somebody likes doing a shake in the morning because they're just running out the door, have a fruit, have a banana or an apple ready to go that you can grab and just eat on it as you're sipping on your shake. That could be so easy to add into your day, and it doesn't add any time really. It's just, you need to understand where you can toss out the peel or the apple core. And now, what to avoid? I definitely want to go over this. What should we avoid? Number one is the supplement route and the probiotics, because like they may help, but chances are they won't. There are some that are out there that do help, but the overwhelming majority are absolute crap, and they're just taking your money. And I can tell you right now, when I worked at Vitamin Shop in the past, we had the probiotics, and there were 2 types. There was the refrigerated and there was the shelf ones. The ones that were on the shelf that were not refrigerated were pretty much useless, and we knew it. So we would always direct people towards the fridge. But guess what? The fridge, those were usually way more expensive. Go figure. Something that actually works is a little bit higher on the price point. So if you're going to be looking for cheap, affordable supplements when it comes to gut health, chances are it's going to be crap. So I wouldn't even bother with that without first trying the fiber route and all that stuff. Okay. Cleanses, detox, elimination diets, and stuff like this can be promoted along with this as well. I wouldn't go that route. The only time I would go like with, say, an elimination style diet is if your doctor recommends it. So honestly, out of all the things I'm saying right now, the best thing you could do if you have any gut issues is go to see a GI doc. Like, go, if you need a referral, go to your PCP and ask, hey, can you refer me to a GI so they can take a look at this and see what's going on? That'll get you the best answer most likely. All right. And then along with all that, focus on simple daily fiber habits, like I just mentioned, instead of chasing the hacks. Okay. Anytime you're chasing a shortcut or something that seems too good to be true, it usually is. All right. Now, along with all this that we're talking about, I don't want to just leave you hanging and be like, do this. All right. See you later. Okay. No, I actually do a challenge during October for this specific thing. We are doing a fiber challenge starting today. Today, Monday. What are we at? It's October 6th. Okay, this is the very first day of the fiber challenge for the FIT40 clients. Every client gets in on it, and anybody who is on the app, it also gets in on it as well. So you could join the app that's like $1 a day, or be a full FIT40 client and get the full shebang and the full experience. But we want to get to the place where we can eat the right foods. We want to make sure that fiber is a part of our day. It's a part of our norm, because carbs need to be in the mix. And especially during October, when we're surrounded by sugar, candy, all this stuff for Halloween, it can turn into this really negative experience with carbohydrates, saying, oh, carbs are the devil. These are bad. This is bad. But guess what? Fiber reduces a lot of those concerns and eliminates a lot of them as well. Because instead of getting these giant spikes in blood sugar, guess what? When fiber is in the mix, it levels everything out. It slows the absorption. You don't get those crazy high sugar spikes. And then if you decide to go the full route and go like with PFC, for example, protein, fiber, and color, that really slows it down, because you're taking so much more time to digest all the foods. So it can help a ton. Now, along with that, with the fiber challenge, like when you sign up, you get a personalized recipe book. I literally say, hey, what exactly do you want like in your diet? What do you enjoy eating? And how can we fit fiber into that? So I'll give you a bunch of recipes that you can go with. And also, if you mention you like restaurants in the area, I'll be like, cool. Well, this restaurant has this. These are your go-to items, so you don't even have to think about it. And you also get simple tracking software. You're not tracking every little thing that is going into your mouth. It's as simple as, hey, this is your fiber goal. Hit it 3 times a day. You just open the app, click fiber, boom, done. It takes less than a minute to get to the place that you want to get to with your fiber. And there's also weekly accountability with client Zoom calls. Every single week, all the clients hop on for a Zoom call with me, and I literally just sit there and say, hey, how's everything going? How can I help you? And also provide lessons every single week as it relates to fiber and how to improve it. And then all in all, you build those habits finally, like they stick. It's not just a week, maybe a couple of days where you try it and then give up. No, you actually stick with the habit for 21 full days, and it improves your digestion, your energy, and your fat loss. So now you get that feedback that, oh crap, this works well. I got to keep doing this, because you got to do it long enough to see those benefits. All right. So if you want to get in on that, you can join today. Okay. Even if you're listening to this Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, okay, whatever day you join, from that point going forward till the end of it, if you get 80% of your fiber checked off throughout that time frame, then you qualify to win the prize at the end, which I'll save that as a little surprise, okay? But there is a prize for people who hit 80% or better on the habit, all right? So if you want to learn more, go ahead and click the link down below in the description, in the show notes, wherever you're watching or listening, and join us. We'd love to have you. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you learned a thing or two about your gut health and how to improve it, and some action steps going forward, but I'll cut myself off here. I'll see you next time, but until then, go kick some ass. Bye-bye.